the TLDR version is he fucked up. He shouldn't have fucked up. He knows he fucked up. It wasn't racism. It was xenophobic. Doesn't make it any less. And I think Valve or the team, and the team maybe, should do something about it, and he should be punished for it. That's the TLDR. But it doesn't make him a bad guy. And if you can keep a reasonable hat on it, I think you'd see that. I think anyone that just... I mean, look, I understand that we live in a grey world and that occasionally we want black and we want white. And it's much easier sometimes to just say something's black and white when it's not, when it's many shades of grey. And I think most things in life are very, very nuanced and very different. And so if you want to not understand the complexities of the issue with Ceb and what he said, then sure, just make it black and white, and then either, you know, be at one pole saying he didn't do anything wrong, which is clearly wrong, or call him a complete and utter racist and kick him out of Dota, and that's also completely wrong. So I think the poles and the extremes are things that we should avoid when it comes to talking about things like this, and we should be looking at the middle, and context does matter, and situation does matter. And these aren't things that you use to condone what he did or the behaviour that he had. Far from it. You punish it, but you keep it within reason. I think the analogy I used earlier is the 5-year-old that steals a couple of penny sweets from the shop doesn't get their hands chopped off or sent to prison for life. They get taught. They get punished, but they get taught that that is wrong. And while Ceb isn't 5 years old, I get that. It's just an analogy to explain why you need to be sensible and reasonable and fair with punishment that matches the crime rather than going too far. And Valve have generally been okay with doing that kind of stuff, but I think they have made a few mistakes in the past as well. I think the CS guys are still banned for stuff that they did back in 2013, which in my mind was no different to what Solo did, and Solo hasn't been banned. So there's definitely some inconsistencies. Not that I think or want Solo to be banned, by the way. I definitely don't. But it's just, you know, there's a lot of inconsistencies everywhere. And I think a lot of these issues would be solved by having a player handbook, or at least having some sort of guide. Not even a guide, but more a set of boundaries, perhaps. You know, everyone needs to know where the line is, and some need it more than others. I feel like I know where the line is most of the time. I feel like my morals are pretty sensible, but that's not to say I can't get better and can't improve. But I feel like not everyone has that level of comfort. Not everyone understands where the line is, and sometimes they want to test it and they want to push it. And in most cases that's okay, because we still have like a little bit left. But when you go beyond it, when it's things like this with Ceb, or with Cuckoo, what Cuckoo said before, or what Tugid said at the Shanghai Major, or any of those kind of things, they are done without the reference line of knowing where the rules are. Because if they had been, if the rules are written down and it clearly says you can't do these things, and then you do them, well, then you've only got yourself to blame. There is a definite argument that says, you know, come on, this is more about sensibility and good morals. And sure, I understand that, but we're talking about the heat in the moment. So it's very difficult to come back to that when it's the heat of the moment. And we've all been there. And again, I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying he was right. He's absolutely wrong. But I think we can all understand that level of frustration. I know I can.